Grace and peace to you. It's been a long time since I recorded a front-facing video, and I want to say first and foremost, I'm not bragging in front of this shelf of books. Many of them I have only read part of or none of. The rest of my office walls are bare. I'm going to work on it, but it looks really weird to just sit in front of a tan wall. So I've got a little backdrop for you. During COVID, I did these midweek devotions, and I know some of you enjoyed them. I enjoyed doing them, and they've fallen off in recent years because of the small human who follows me around. But I want to do them again because I want us to remember that our faith is a practice in our whole lives and not just on Sunday. And to just spread the word about the church and have us out there in a new way, even if it's just me talking. Remember, this Sunday, worship is a joint service at Saxapahaw. It's still 11 o'clock, but it is at Saxapahaw United Methodist Church. Message me if you want more information about that. I also want to note here two things. The first is part of the reason I want to keep making these or make these again is just to get Swepsonville UMC out there in different ways. Our church is strong. We have really great missions. We help support Stone Soup Menus. We work with snack packs and Meals on Wheels and all the other things. Our mission game is strong. And frankly, the church finances look okay. And our building is getting some improvements to it, as well as the campus. But we can always use more folks in worship, in Sunday school, and in the life of the church. And the great thing about being in a smaller church is your presence makes a difference. 2 extra people in Sunday school at 10 a.m. on Sundays would be a huge deal. I'd love to see you there. A few extra people in worship can make the difference between the place feeling full and the place feeling really empty. So I want to encourage you. If you're a part of this church family, we want you to be a part of the family in all the ways we offer. The extra part of that too is I want to be a pastor to you, whether you are at a lot of our things or a few of our things or none of our things. My phone number is readily available, and my head is sometimes scrambled in many directions. Please, whoever you are, do not worry about calling me and bothering me. If you call me and it is a bother at the moment, I will not answer. But I'm always happy to answer your call or to call you back. Please, if you would like to talk, if you want to chat, if you want to update me about your life, or just say hello or ask a question, call me. It's the easiest way to get in touch with me, and I promise you it will not be a bother. Okay, I won't do this much wind-up normally. What I think I want to do, at least as I'm trying to get back into this habit, is to work on the Psalm of the Week. In our bulletin and weekly email every week, you can subscribe to the weekly email, just email us. I have a psalm for the week and a scripture for each day. And some of you all, I know, read that, and I kind of try to make it thematic or at least connected to the scripture from Sunday, but sometimes it's just one I like. But the psalm for the week is meant to be a psalm to meditate on for the whole week. And so I'm going to read those psalms and do a little reflecting. The psalms are just an amazing resource we have in scripture where God talks to us in poetic ways. So I'm going to read Psalm 26. Vindicate me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity, and I have trusted in the Lord without wavering. Prove me, O Lord, and try me. Test my heart and mind. For your steadfast love is before my eyes, and I walk in faithfulness to you. I do not sit with the worthless, nor do I consort with hypocrites. I hate the company of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked. I wash my hands in innocence and go around your altar, O Lord, singing aloud a song of thanksgiving and telling all your wondrous deeds. O Lord, I love the house in which you dwell and the place where your glory abides. Do not sweep me away with sinners, nor my life with the bloodthirsty, those in whose hands are evil devices, and whose right hands are full of bribes. But as for me, I walk in my integrity. Redeem me and be gracious to me. My foot stands on level ground. In the great congregation, I will bless the Lord. The thing I notice about this psalm is that it is a psalm about personal purity. Prove me, O Lord, and try me. I do not sit with the worthless, nor do I consort with hypocrites. I will not sit with the wicked. It's about keeping ourselves pure and keeping ourselves away from the wicked. And that should throw up a few red flags for you, because one of the things Jesus is accused of is of sitting with the wicked. Look at this man. He eats with sinners and tax collectors. So we should be careful how the way the wicked is thrown around. And we should be careful about the way we use the language of purity. The language, especially of Christian purity in the past several decades, has been a code word for sexual purity in the particular ways that people want to exert control or judge other people, right? And it's meant sort of moral respectability as purity. But notice the example the psalmist gives us, and this is noted as a psalm of David. I don't know that all the psalms were written by David, as the tradition says, but this one says of David. It says, to those in whose hands are evil devices and whose right hands are full of bribes. The kinds of wicked and evildoers this scripture is talking about are not just criminals or just people who are too open with their sexuality. It's not a judgment on individuals. It's the kind of wickedness that David is supposed to fear. That is, I would say, the wickedness of powerful people who abuse their power, whose right hands are full of bribes. I think if we're talking about purity, about being a holy people, we need to talk as much about holiness in boardrooms, in meeting rooms, in political offices, as much, if not more, than we talk about holiness in bar rooms and these kind of unsavory places we worry about. I think this is the key. We want to be a holy people. We want to be a people who do not condone sinful acts. But Jesus says the whole of the law hangs on the love of God and the love of neighbor. And so I am much more worried about ways that I can love my neighbor and love God than about pointing fingers at other people. This is the key, I think, to being a pure people. We don't talk about purity to point fingers at others. We talk about purity to challenge ourselves, to be people who lead holy lives, lives of caring and understanding, lives of grace. If we want to stand on level ground, as the psalm says, we attend to God and ask God for help with our own choices. And I think we should be very careful when we start to point that finger at others or try to speak in God's words. So challenge yourself this week to be more holy. Maybe in the participation of the church, as I've said, but maybe in the way you treat others. Consider the places in this world where there are evil devices, and there are many, and whose hands are full of bribes. Let's avoid that. Okay, 10 minutes is too long. I'm going to try to keep these shorter, I promise. So go in peace. Be blessed, and I hope to see you on Sunday in Saxapahaw or anywhere else in this world. God bless.